Hi there, and welcome back to another episode with your chaotic witchy mama, Haley. Last week we had a great discussion about earth magic, and it was perfect timing because it is coming up on spring, and it's just, it's that time, right? Well, with spring coming up, it is also time for air magic. So, air magic, obviously, breath work, breathing and being mindful about your breathing. There are so many videos and types of breath work that you could practice or try, or you can just kind of do it intuitively. That's really what I like to do. I like to do basically everything that just feels right. I'll give some things a try, but then usually I always kind of tweak it to make it work for my personal self. So there's this one particular type of breathing that I really like, that I honestly feel like it gets me high almost. Like my whole body will tingle and I almost can't tell where my body ends and my surroundings start. It's so weird and hard to explain, but I am like tingly and weightless when I do this specific piece of breath work. Okay, so here's how it works. I stand up tall and straight. I put my arms down to my side and face my hands outward as I start to take a long, deep, slow breath in. At the same time, I'm raising my arms up above my head, and then my two hands touch, my palms touch, so it's like the prayer pose above my head. And then when I get there, I take another deep breath in as much as I can, because I already took such a big breath. I can hardly do this part, but this part is important. And then you hold your breath. You hold your breath as long as you can stand it. And then when it's time to release your breath, your body is going to want to go like quickly and just go and like gasp for air, but don't do it. I make a point. I slowly let that breath out, and I bring my hands down to my chest, right in front of my heart, and I hold them there as I finish breathing out. And 9 times out of 10, I usually have to sit down because remember how I said before, I get like tingly and weightless. I almost can't tell where my body ends and my surroundings start. I am one with the realm and the world like around me. It is so wild and hard to explain. But for people who have ever done types of breath work and gotten any type of like physical highs or physical reactions, you will understand. And whether this specific one works for you or not, I can almost guarantee that if you just keep looking and trying different things, you will find something that can do this for you or similar for you. Just go outside on a windy day, feel and observe the wind. It is such an underrated element. I feel like it's always the last one to be thought about and spoken about, but it can also be one of the most powerful. Oh, and while you're outside, don't forget to play. Don't forget to have fun with those kids of yours. We all know how much they love being outside, and now that it's nice out and this wind we keep talking about is getting softer and warmer, it's starting to smell like the growing grass and flowers and trees. It is wonderful that spring is springing upon us. Wind is one of those ones that I like to use as an example for people who say, well, I have to see it to believe it. Okay, but you can't see the wind, but you can see the effects that it has. You can see the leaves ruffling around through the wind. You can see your hair moving in the wind. Wind can get so strong, it knocks trees over. It tears houses down. It creates tornadoes that just creates all kinds of havoc. Air could be a very powerful tool if you tap into it. A good way you could use Air is with smell. Smell is really highly associated with air because it travels through the air. Because smells can draw things in and pull things away. Humans, animals, and spirits and energy all alike. I mean, think about it. If you smell your favorite cookies, you're going to come running and be like, ooh, I want some of that. And if you smell something rancid like pee, poop, vomit, some people despise other smells like apple cider vinegar or, whatever smells it is that you don't like. It draws you away. You're like, gotta go. I'll be in the other room now. You can use the smells in that manner. You can think, I like this. This must draw something good in. Or think, oh, this is gross. This is going to make stuff go away. Smell can travel through the air pretty darn far, especially if you use the wind. You can use a fan. You could make a little spell candle that smells really awful if you want to banish something, and then light it and put a little fan next to it with the window open and blow the scent out the window, and you're blowing everything along with it out the window. You can find whatever incense or resins associate with banishing or whatever associates with invoking peace and calm and happiness, and you can make candles or incense or whatever smells you want for whatever purpose you want. You could do a simmer pot for banishing or cleansing with all of these smells that you inhale, the steam, and it literally makes you feel better. A lot of the stuff, it is scientifically proven to be good for your respiratory system, and it's also metaphysically good for your soul. Ooh, when it comes to smells, I like making candles, and my kids join me making candles, and I let them take sniffs of the essential oils that I might be using, and they help me choose essential oils. They help me choose the colors that I might use because I've got candle dye. They help me stir the beeswax and the coconut oil in together. My kids like helping with everything. So they like helping me make candles, which is a big part of my personal craft. Everything that I use in my day-to-day life and a lot of the stuff I use in my spellcraft is handcrafted somehow or another. I don't go out and buy a bunch of candles. I want to use the healthier kind, aka beeswax, but it's so flipping expensive for beeswax candles that I bought a 50-pound box of, 5-pound, I do not know why I said 50, I bought a 5-pound box of beeswax online that I've been using to make all my own candles, and it's not bleached, so I don't have any white candles or any way of making white candles. The lightest candle I have is a light yellow because beeswax is yellow, and it lightened a little bit with the coconut oil, but that's it. But instead of white, I could use my gray or silver, which I think does basically the same thing as being associated with purity and cleansing. For me, silver is very purifying and cleansing. So I use silver instead of white for those type of things. But I can add my own colors, scents, herbs to candles that I make basically from scratch on a regular basis. My kids love joining in on that. There's also this thing where people breathe life into their spell work. So whatever it is they're working on, like a spell jar, a spell candle, or whatever, when they're done, they hold it in their hand and they take a big breath and they breathe out into the item that they just created, and now it's activated. They activate it with a breath of life because breath gives you life in creation. If you stop breathing, you stop living. So you can activate things with your breath of life. Another air association would be your voice, spoken words. When I first started, I was really weird about saying spells or prayers out loud. It would always just be in my head, so nobody could hear me, or maybe I just like felt woohooey or something. But if and when you get comfortable using your voice out loud as prayers, spells, song, I like to turn everything into music. Even if like I find a spell or chant online, I will sing it out loud. And that helps me remember it. That helps me focus. That helps me raise the energy, the vibrations. And voice alone is a vibration. Your intention is a vibration. The way you voice it out loud is a vibration, and the way you voice it matters as well, depending on what you want to do with it. If you say it lovingly versus aggressively, if you sing it versus scream it, if you just say it politely, just a little bit under your breath, it all makes a bit of a difference. Especially when they're like a few short, simple lines, like a mantra. Mantras have been proven to help you mentally, help you change your mindset mentally. It is good for you. So mantras are, voice, spoken words, or words that you're thinking in your head. You could do it either way, but I've found that if you do it out loud, it starts out feeling and sounding funny. But I think doing it out loud makes all the difference. Because the weirder it feels when you start doing it, it just means you don't believe what you're saying. And the more you repeat it, the more you'll learn to believe it. And that's how you replace your negative thoughts, is by replacing them with better thoughts. Because we all know stopping a thought that has traction is hard. And the better thing to do is just realize it and try, keyword try, to actively find something better to think about. This is one that I'm personally struggling with, but I'm working on real hard, trying to tune out the negative voices in my head and replace them with positive voices in my head. Speaking of voices in your head, that's another air association. Your mind, your mentality, mental health, the way you think and feel is all associated with the air element. So if you're going through something that you need to figure out, you need some air magic in your life. Whether that's a few deep breaths, a walk outside, sitting by a pond or lake. Ooh, I would like to do that right now. You need to go get some air and clear your thoughts. However it is that you can figure out how to clear your thoughts. The only way to find clarity is through yourself. I know it's so easy to try to look everywhere else for the answer, but we already know the answer. We're just fighting the answer. That's the real thing here. And that's, I think, is one of the biggest struggles that at least I'm having with mental health is, what you should be doing. It's just hard to get yourself to do it. If you stuck around this long, you get to find out that next week will be about Book of Shadows and how to get started. Thank you for hanging out with me. I truly appreciate it. And I just have to throw in where you can find me. You can basically find me at The Chaotic Witchy Mama at TikTok, Instagram. You can email me at thechaoticwitchymama@gmail.com. The Chaotic Witchy Mama on Spotify, Google, Anchor, and Stitcher are all of where I have the podcasts as of now. And I look forward to hearing back from you, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.